I know it didn't show much because I was pointing the floor at the camera at the floor in Thorpe Park. I kind of wish I brought it with me and, you know, pointed out, because at the time when I was filming that point, I was right beside Colossus, and I really wish I picked the camera up at that point to watching the roller coaster going past me and gone down into the underpass of the bridge thing they have for the footpath to go over it to get to it. And my gosh, that ride at Colossus, I went on it quite about 3 or 4 times on that this year, and it's interesting. Colossus is quite interesting. I think they've done some servicing and maintenance on that ride. I think they've done a lot of TLC work basically to do it up and keeping it as smooth as possible to while the track is getting on. The cars are probably quite old, but it's a lovely ride otherwise. It's a little bit jolty, but it's pretty smooth for its age. I don't know how old that one is, but it's very smooth for its age, and it's got a lot of interesting designs to where it's set up, and it's got this off ramp that goes around the corner and down into the depth, and it goes up and then round into like a spiral, like a helix or a loop if you like. And then it went into like these, it's not a pretzel loop, it's one of these type loops, but I can't remember what they're called. They're like a kind of going like that into an angle. I can't remember what they're called, but it was a loop of some kind. It was just like a twist bending the track, but it's not a helix, because that's basically when it does this, you know, it sort of tips on itself and it goes down and spirals itself round and down. But instead, when most of the roller coasters, they just do this. It's constantly spinning at a certain point. So yeah, that's pretty cool. With the Colossus, it's got all that going on, which is wonderful, because that's what gives it the thrill and the G-force too. But it's just amazing ride for its age, and it's the first time I've been on Colossus ever, and I've been on it 3 or 4 times, and I do like that ride. it's the most positive honest thing I can say. It's a good ride. At the time my head was behaving, so that was good. At the time, no people were in lockdown, there was nothing going on, obviously, because Thorpe Park is near the centre of London. Not quite, but it's very near London. It's near the A1 somewhere. I can't remember where. So that was a good ride. Stealth, oh my gosh, that's so thrill-lating. It's so thrill-seeking, if you like. My words have seemed to understand that one more. It's so intense, Stealth. It's literally, you're sitting here, just 10 meters of the cars, you're sitting on the track, and you're sitting there for about 2 to 3 minutes, and I'm trying to think, yeah, you're sitting there for 2 or 3 minutes, and you suddenly hear a suddenly move back moment when the barriers suddenly, they sort of put the brakes up to hold the cars in place, and you can feel the magnetic track system, which has got all these magnets underneath the track, which cause friction to the wheels. It's like, you know, the overhead assembly systems on the railway lines, they like that, but the friction's right in the centre of the track. The track's like this, kind of like that. It's time. It's nearly 7 o'clock. So it was sitting like that, and obviously you're sitting back there just for about 20 seconds, and once the red lights go down to green, and it says go, 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 and it launches you straight up to this, probably about 285 feet into the air. Literally safe. Well, the safest you'll ever be on a coaster, I have to admit that, because sometimes things do go wrong. I'm glad I haven't had that experience when I've been on the coaster. Has that happened? I remember the tidal wave that actually broke down. I remember being on that, but that actually got held in place by the brakes by the car. The car's attached to the track at the time, which is going up the lift hill, so that was good. I did remember that one. We went down off the emergency ramp because the test cars on tidal wave broke. I think system didn't work quite properly in that area, so it needed some maintenance, needed some great scale EW40 stuff around it. Tidal wave is much older, I think. Colossus, there's like 20 years difference between them. But yeah, Stealth is an intense ride. If you haven't never experienced on a coaster, it's about 2 to 4G coaster. Stealth is about, I would say, closer to 3G, I think, because you're doing basically 0 to 80 miles per hour up this 285 foot climb, and then you're at the peak. I was at on the Stealth, a second car back from the front, and I was on here with my sister's boyfriend, because my sister and my mum wouldn't go on it. My mum used to love that ride, but I went on it once. Okay, I thought I wanted to go on it once again, but after how I felt the first time, how it took my breath away, I was like, I was smiling, but at the same time I was really got that adrenaline rush going from that one. It's so quick, and then when you grab the brakes towards the end, it's like for an 80 miles per hour, it's insane. But yes, I think they could benefit maybe to do a few different things with it, not just the straight up and down with that one, but it could do some 20-degree spiral loop or something with it, just to make that track a little bit longer, because you've got still that little bit of spare park range to still put it across the lake, and you put it, you know, put some brakes and then do a few twisty turny bits in it. But obviously it's a fairly simple ride. It's just the G-force going up that thing and then going down. So yeah, that's a good ride. Secondly, what's the next one I've been on? Stealth. Not Stealth. Inferno. Inferno I went on 2 times, I think. Yeah, 2 times. And that was a good ride. I love that one. It's in, I think Stealth is in first. Oh no, it will be in second with Inferno and Stealth. So we will bring on in a moment. That's quite an interesting one. Stealth has got a lot of, you know, Inferno's got a lot of twists, very sharp twists that will basically tip you around like the pendulum does on tight track, and it's like you having the experience with that, and then putting you into about a 15-degree loop, throwing you up in the air doing that, and then it brings you around on the upper part of the track and you connect up, and it does this, the helix type thing going on, and they do half helix, which is basically does sort of like a half-degree angle going up and then round, kind of. That's basically what they can probably consider half helix. But yeah, so Inferno's interesting. It's quite an enjoyable ride. It's not too bad. It's not really fast like some of them. I would say 60 to 50 miles per hour, I think, roughly on those particular ones. But Stealth is at least 80 miles per hour, which, just to think of you sitting there, you know, excuse me, you're sitting there and just sitting there in there, standing still, waiting there for like 10 to 5 minutes on stealth, and you're just like, what's gonna happen next? And it'll ping you up into the atmosphere at a very great speed. You know, much safety as coasters go, because obviously I have to do safety checks on these things. But even when, you know, I was like holding my stomach in as much as possible to have this head restraint thing to go down and across my chest. And I did hold my stomach in that day for that one, because that was like, okay. I was like this, holding on, and here holding it, because the chest plate, when it comes down across you and the clip is down there in front of your chair, it's sometimes it feels like it's clicked in, it's the belt goes in, the metal frame clicks there, and then you've got the belt goes with it, and then I think what they need to do with stealth to for some more, a little bit more safety about it being too, you know, too straining with the body, because that ride is intense as it is, but it's fun. But it needs to do with something, in case, you know, the head restraint piece decides not to work on that day and you've already been launched off that ride, is I'm trying to think, maybe to do something like a car belt does. They cost you here and down here, basically along here and then down like that, to have that little extra safety in there to when